Well, some of these you can see is timber that's been on the ground for a while, actually, a bit rotten. But actually, in this particular area, that's what's happened. Some trees have been thinned as part of the management plan, and then we've used that timber to create leaky dams. Whereas in some other places, we've felled the trees, extracted them, because we use them for heating our buildings and hot water and such things, but still retain some timber in the woodland for leaky dams. And I guess the benefit is this: you've got a structure here which slows the flow of water. You're right in that you're going to have all the ground flora recovering because of the extra light from the thinning activity, so that'll improve surface roughness. But actually, by leaving the timber in and creating dams, you've got dead wood habitat. And because this is wet,
got a massive habitat benefit.
And because the log's in contact with the ground, it's wet dead wood, which invertebrates and fungi who like wet dead wood, benefit from. Whereas the big stuff is quite rare in woodland. It is,
So you get different fungi on the big.
If you could do both, a bit of group felling and...
Well, we've done that. If you look behind you, there's one there, there's one come out there.
But to me, you cannot. To me, to achieve this, you need to do big group felling to get that big vegetation in this gully.
Well, I think it's a fair bit of light coming in now anyway. Maybe we can take another conifer out potentially, but there's a lot of light coming in.
But what vegetation are you expecting to see here then? Do you think opening up for you?
Yeah, but regen is young trees. That's not going to make a massive difference to the runoff.
Well, in the long term it will.
Yeah.
Because they become bigger.
I think
And also then they shade out again, so it's sort of...
That's woodland process.
Just woodland
process.
But that's okay. That's one thing, but it's not going to do the same as this.
Right.
No.
It's just fine. I mean, I think what you're saying is like fine. It's not an either or. It's just fine.
I'm just looking at it.
You just go.
But you've got to remember, we are in a wood, and we want to preserve the wood.
Oh yeah.
I mean, they're up in arms about managing plants, it is, aren't they?
Right, no, not too bad. Right, so there are compartments in this woodland which are dominated by conifer trees or beech, and both species have largely the same effect on the ground flora in that it's almost absent in places. So the management plan in those compartments is to do the management you're referring to, which is, well, not group thinning as such, so, well, I suppose it kind of is, selectively felling. And what we've done with the conifers is we're thinning them out, in some places 30%, in other places up to 70%, but there's not many compartments where we're doing the thinning that high. But the idea is to thin or selectively fell enough so enough light gets to the ground, and then the theory is the ground flora, well, the theory, it's not theory, it's standard practice. The ground flora will recover, and then you have that increased surface roughness. But one of the benefits of having the ground flora in those areas is you're reducing the amount of sediments and soils and organic matter that's getting into the water courses, the river.
The thing with that kind of plan is this is why it's really important to work with the local community, because when in Stroud, when we got there's all beech woods on the escarpment, pretty much. It's designated for its beech woods, which is really dense canopy. So nothing, after the wild garlic's gone, it's just bare soil. So I had quite a lot of difficulty with because there's a lot of green councillors, and they thought natural field management, planting trees, and I explained I'd be spending the first few years thinning and chopping them down. So there's quite a job of explaining that you need a mixture of techniques, and it's this thing of what suits the local environment and what suits the local landscape and ecology, and that's why you kind of generalistic rules need to be applied with caution, because you need to take into account the kind of local specifics.
Well, we've been really radical here, and we're not going to see it today, but if you ever come back, have a look. On the other side of the river on that bank, we've monolithed 160 large mature beech trees. And by that I mean we've just left standing trunks and taken all the branches off and ring-barked the beech tree. And then the branches have been used to, I forget the word now, you put them in rows. No, not fascines. Anyway, rows. whatever the proper word is. And then you have a leaky dam structure there. But what we've decided to do, rather than felling the beech trees, we've left the trunk. And the contractor, actually Rob got that contractor who you met earlier on, his team, we asked them to put 3 cuts in with a saw on an angle like that, so you've got bat roost habitat, the fact that you've got 180 large stems of dead wood or dying wood, it'll be dead soon, which is absolutely fantastic for invertebrates and fungi and birds that like drier dead wood as well. And you don't get a lot of standing dead wood in woodlands generally. I mean, you don't get a lot of this.
That's right.
And I tell you why, because of the Ranger syndrome, because we all extract it, don't we, and we use it, we sell the wood. I mean, don't get us wrong, I think woodlands should have an economic value, because if they did, we'd have a lot more of them, put it that way, you know. So we've been quite radical here and done that. And but what we did is we preempted any kickback from the wider community, which is understandable. People perceive tree felling as a bad thing. And we did a public consultation exercise and produced this public-facing management plan. Because the FC forestry plan, management plan, to be honest, you know, I'm considering myself to be, a fairly experienced land manager, but I look at that woodland plan and it takes me forever to understand it. You know?
Compartment.
It doesn't work for anyone. So we produced a public-facing one, working with a local forestry advisor, and it was really simple. You know, it kind of, for each compartment, it was a nice aerial image with a red line around it. It had 2 or 3 pictures of what the woodland looked like, or that compartment looked like, and then it just said what we're going to do, 30% thin, and what the problems might be. I don't know, controlled rhododendron or controlled balsam, maybe it's just fly tipping from a road, or whatever the constraints are, you know, and issues. And it was a page per compartment, and it's beautiful. So if you've got contractors on site, you say, these are the compartments I want you to fell in, there's the instructions, it's dead easy, there's some pictures, and there's an aerial image as well, so you can actually locate yourself in the landscape. And it's fantastic, and it's great for my staff team as well, because if we're doing some in-house felling, it's like, right, pull the page out, that's what you do, and it's simple. Whereas if you give them a Forestry Commission management plan, they'll be in the office for about 3 hours, and then you get a phone call saying, what does it mean? And I would probably do the same, you know.